Say hi. You're listening to the Blue 82 podcast, hosted by Craig and Nicholas. Please like and subscribe so we know that you like what we're doing. And now, let's talk football. Blue 82.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Blue 82 podcast. I am your host, Craig, and I'm here with my co-host, Nicholas. And this is episode 21. We had a weird week in football, I feel like. First off, before we get too much into anything, we just want to say we hope that Damar Hamlin's okay and he makes a recovery, and we'll find out what happens. We don't know much of what's happening, but we do hope that he's okay. Definitely a weird, crazy week. It's hard to talk about football when something like that happens, but we're gonna. I just wanted to start the episode off with that. That way, we pay our respects to that and make sure that that's taken care of. You know what I mean? We definitely don't want to downplay that situation and try to move past it and talk football, so we definitely wanted to visit that. Another thing, Happy New Year's, everyone. We hope everybody had a good holiday week, good New Year's. Let's start the new year off right. With that being said, we appreciate y'all as always. Yeah. Nick, how was your New Year's?
Not too bad. What about you?
It was pretty solid. It was all right, mate.
I think we just went downtown. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, we went to Medieval Times. That's what it was. Went to Medieval Times, and then tried to go skating, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah. Skating does not sound fun. I do not skate. But yeah. I got the wrong... That's awkward. I got the wrong screen on for the...
Oh boy, here we go.
Technical issues, you know? Where can
yeah, we went to Medieval Times. We got the YOLO night, right?
Yeah?
This motherfucker was dicking on everyone in the pre-games, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, the YOLO night won. The YOLO night won. I'm like, all right, here we go. We got a little bit of a showboat here, I guess. He was just winning them all, right?
Yeah.
Then come out, they do like the jousting, right?
Yeah.
Motherfucker gets knocked off the horse instantly. He's rolling out on the ground. I'm like, oh no, don't tell me he's going out like this. He gets up, starts fighting, whatever. Boom, goes down after like 2 minutes. I'm like, this is not good. Jesus.
Down bad.
They send him back, whatever. They bring him back out. I'm like, okay, here we go, redemption. Motherfucker gets knocked off again. I'm like, oh no.
That's tough.
He went out like a bitch.
Oh goodness.
Motherfucker. I think the first, I don't remember, I remember telling Jadine, I was like, I don't even think he got a hit in on the first or second fight, whatever it was. He didn't even get a hit in. I'm like, well, that's not good. Our night just went out like a little bitch, man.
That's crazy.
And it sucks too, because like he was like the first couple, he was the first fight. So it's like after that, I'm like, I got nothing to cheer for.
What now?
Like,
that would be cool to go to something like that. Medieval Times, like that sounds fire.
that's not bad, man. They give you a lot of food too. Like, they gave us like basically a whole chicken leg.
Oh wow.
I couldn't even like finish that, and then they gave us like corn on the cob, and then I think it was garlic bread.
That's fine.
Oh, and you get a potato and tomato soup.
That's
It's not
fine.
bad. It's not bad. It was fun.
Definitely sounds like a cool time. Something different, you know what I mean? I mean, there's not, like we have in Texas, we have like the Renaissance Festival, which is probably something similar to that.
Yeah.
I've never been, but it's definitely something that seems pretty entertaining, you know what I mean? Just to, at least one of those things you go to
show,
once.
you know? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, you got to go to at least like once. I've been to it before when I was like younger as a kid. But
Sounds
yeah, it's not a bad time. There's something to do.
Yeah. Moving on. So I don't think there's a whole lot of news coming out on anything as far as like involving the league, because everything is pretty much like surrounding this unfortunate incident with Damar Hamlin. So we're not really going to have like a news segment or anything like that, or injuries and things like that, because again, it's just everybody in the league is literally just focusing on that at the moment, which as it should be, you know what I mean? So we'll go ahead and skip through that. I don't think we're going to have a super long episode this week just because all this going on, it, like I said earlier, it just feels weird talking about football, but we'll try to break down a little bit that we have. Nick didn't watch a whole lot of football this week, so he's going to just chime in here and there. I watched a good bit of it. But
I've been busy going to aquariums and stuff.
No, I mean, I hear you. I don't blame you. We'll go ahead and talk about, let's see.
I went to the museum and an aquarium.
Wait. So, hold on real quick. So we do have...
What?
We do have some news. Official statement from the NFL saying there will not be a resumption of the Bills-Bengals game this week.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it comes out and they said the NFL continues to be in regular contact with the medical team caring for Damar Hamlin and also the Bills and Bengals organization and the NFL Players Association.
What is interesting though is that like he literally just says though that it's not happening this week, but it's not like it's outright canceled.
100%, yeah, that's what it seems like.
That means to me that the game will be played again. It just has to be sometime before probably the playoffs, right?
Yeah. So in this statement, it says the NFL has made no decision regarding the possible resumption of the game at a later date. The league has not made any changes to the Week 18 regular season schedule. We'll continue to provide additional information as it becomes available. So that literally
I don't know.
just
I'm
came
gonna
out
imagine.
within seconds.
Yeah, I'm gonna imagine because they play again this Sunday too, right?
Yeah, they both play this Sunday.
Yeah, I'm imagining they're gonna play these games and then probably try and figure out best case scenario to play it in.
Yeah, so if I were to like speculate, I mean, first off, this is unprecedented time, right? Like nothing like this has ever happened in a game before.
Yeah.
I feel like we've had things maybe similar, but the fact that
you've had like scary injuries, but like
cardiac arrest
never,
in the middle of the field, like,
never something like this serious.
Yeah. With that being said, like you said, they're not gonna do it this week. They play Sunday. So what's probably going to happen is, in my opinion, two things. Either they don't play the game at all, and it is what it is, you know what I mean? It sucks for seeding, but it is what it is at the end of the day. I wouldn't think the teams care too much at this point. Or they push the whole playoffs back a week, and then, quote-unquote, on week 19, the Bills and Bengals play their game. But I don't know how that would work a whole lot because I know there's a lot of moving parts involved in that, like TV schedules and things like that.
I have no idea.
Yeah, and again, this isn't the important thing right now, but there's things coming out, so we figured we'd talk about it real quick. So we'll see what happens with that. The fact that they're saying no decision on potentially resuming it at a later date just makes me think that they may call this game just a wash altogether, but I don't know.
I'm not sure. Maybe they wash all together.
Yeah.
What was the score of the game? Like someone did have the lead.
It was
right?
7-3. Bengals had the lead.
So maybe they'll just say that the Bengals win the game. That's it, done.
Maybe
call it a game.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We'll find out for sure. Like I said, though.
Either way, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Let's see. So Monday of last week, we had the Chargers and the Colts. I don't think we talked about that game.
No.
Colts trash. Yep. Moving on.
Yeah, Chargers pissed on them. It is what it is.
Yeah. The Colts are in shambles. Jeff Saturday is something else.
Yeah, he's a clown. He's going back to fucking ESPN.
Yeah.
He's not gonna remember now. He's not gonna be fired though, because he was a
interim head coach.
No. Not only that, but he was also what's the word? He's like a advisor or something in the organization. So he's gonna be moved back to an advisor role.
Yeah, he's gonna go back to his original.
He won't be fired. He'll just be removed back.
Next week, Thursday night of this week, we had the Cowboys and the Titans. This game looked pretty close for a bit. Titans were kind of keeping in it, and then the Cowboys just scored a couple touchdowns, and the game was pretty much over. I feel like If I were the Titans, I wouldn't even want to make the playoffs at this point. I mean, Tannehill's out. Like, you're going to get first rounded regardless. I feel like, I mean, even if they beat the Jags, it's just, I wouldn't want to beat the Jags. But I think they lose anyways, but.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be hard for them to even have a chance to make it without your starting quarterback. Derrick Henry's probably going to be back, right?
Yeah, they pretty much set him out just because that game didn't mean anything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. They're playing, what, a third-string quarterback, that Dobbs guy, right?
Yeah, a third-string quarterback that they literally signed last week, so.
Yeah, so there you go. Good fucking luck. Have fun. Try not to get fucking destroyed.
Yeah, that's crazy. Next we have, sorry, my dogs are going crazy, if y'all hear that. Next we have the Cardinals at the Falcons. I'm not going to lie to you, I think they showed this game on Red Zone 2 times, and it was at the beginning of the game, and then after that I didn't see shit. So, don't really know what happened in this game. The Falcons did pull out the win. It was a pretty close game. I think the Falcons kicked a field goal at the end to win it. They had like a decently long drive at the end and then kicked a field goal to win it.
I'll tell you what.
What?
From what I remember on Red Zone, I saw Young Ho Koo kick the field goal to win the game. That's what I saw.
That's what I saw. After that,
that's all I remember.
Yeah.
Other than that, I couldn't tell you they were playing a game or not.
I feel bad, but I mean, they didn't show that shit at all. That's because they're not like two playoff teams. Like, you know how it is. Later in the year, they start to.
They're playing for nothing, man. They're playing for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, who gives a shit about what the Cardinals and Falcons did? Unless you're a fucking fan of that team.
Even then, you are a fan. I feel bad.
But even then, you probably don't even care because your season's over.
Next, we have the Bears at the Lions. I thought this game was going to be a lot closer, man. Justin Fields had like 100 rushing yards in the first quarter.
Yeah, he was going off, and then that was it.
Yeah,
he got shut down.
That was literally it. Yeah, Lions won this game dominantly. Kind of the same thing with the Jags game. Like, I figured it was going to be a little closer. I still thought the Jags were going to win, but the Jags came out and just fucking pissed on the Texans, which is surprising because the Texans have been putting up pretty good fights against the last 2-3 teams they played. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, though, about Justin Fields. He always joked about Lamar being a running back. This dude literally was taking fucking toss plays.
Yeah.
Like, he was the fucking running back. Like, everyone was clowning fucking Lamar. At least Lamar's got the MVP. I'd clown Justin Fields. That dude doesn't even look like a quarterback.
Yeah. And again,
I've seen one passing highlight from this guy, and it was like a bomb. That's it. I've never seen him throwing the ball on red zone or anything ever. Ever.
And
I'm not blaming him or anything like that, but
that's literally what
he also needs to improve. Because I watched him play the Dolphins, like there is times like he just doesn't look like a quarterback.
No, I know. I think part of that is, and not to defend anybody, like I completely agree with what you're saying. Part of that I think is just lack of weapons in the wide receiver core. I
think it's play calling, lack of weapons, and then also his ability.
No, 100%.
Or his inability, I guess.
I think it's all three of them combined.
But hopefully he improves.
I mean, he can throw the ball. I saw it in college.
I mean, yeah, he has an arm, but it's like, that's it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen really much else, though. That's the thing.
No, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens next year. I think they're moving in the right direction. If he can get his passing game a little bit better and they get some weapons, they can maybe be a 5-11 team next year. I
mean, what did they have the second overall pick? You better get a fucking wide receiver or something.
Well, second they'll probably take Will Anderson, and then
or get a fucking someone's got to be available in free agency, trade something. Someone somewhere.
Yeah.
Because he needs fucking help.
Well, I think Juju will be a free agent. Not that he's like the number one guy, but I don't know if he's going to go back with the Chiefs. But that's the only wide receiver I can think of that's going to be a free agent.
I know, I'm just kidding. There's probably a bunch of low-key ones.
I don't think there's any like stud wide receivers coming in.
That's what I'm saying. It's probably going to be like a bunch of like low-key signing ones.
But we did have a crazy offseason. Maybe we'll have another one. Bunch of trades happening. Who knows?
Could be possible.
Next Next we got, I mean, fuck the Bears. What if they traded for Derek Carr and Devontae Adams? That'd be some shit. Yeah, we talked
I mean,
about the
I'm keeping my eyes on
game a bit.
Devontae Adams, honestly.
That whole situation's weird. I would not be surprised if he gets traded somewhere.
Because you literally are giving up on Derek Carr, and that's like the reason why he went there. I wouldn't be surprised if he demands a request or something like.
Yeah, and they may not move him, but he's definitely gonna try to.
He's gonna, he's gonna do something. He's not gonna be happy.
No, 100%. We talked about the Jags game. They smoked the Texans. Not much to say there, to be honest. The Jags pulled out pretty much most of their starters after the first half. Next we got
Trevor wanted to do a bit more, but
I mean, he literally played 2 quarters, but even then he didn't do much.
That's what I'm saying. It was just a run game.
Yeah. Which
Etienne broke a big when I saw that.
Yeah. Dude, he started off my fantasy, had like 20 points in the first quarter, like first half, quarter and a half or whatever. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, this man's about to drop a 40 bomb. Because the whole week building up to it, they were like, we're going to play our starters. This is another week. Like, if this game doesn't matter, whatever, they're playing. So I was like, fuck it. They might keep him in the whole game. But they fucking pulled him in second half. And I was like, fuck. Kind of pissed me off, too, because the first drive, they gave a touchdown rushing to their backup. And I'm like, dude, if Etienne could have got that, he would have had 2 tutties, like 120 rushing yards. That would have been a good day. I mean, still a good day regardless. But next we got the Broncos at the Chiefs. Again, Broncos kind of fucking lingered around. Chiefs ended up winning. This is how these Broncos Chiefs games play. I will say one thing, and you mentioned it earlier, Nick, when we were talking before the podcast. We were talking about head coaches not wanting to go to the Broncos. They got to fix Russell Wilson. And I meant to ask you earlier, but I figured we'd leave it for the podcast and I'd bring it up. I'm starting to get this feeling, and I know it's crazy just because how bad he's been this year. I think it was Nathaniel Hackett. It was the problem. I don't know if it was Russell Wilson at this point because, I mean, he had a decent day against the Chiefs this game. You know what I mean? Like, he had a good week. Well, he didn't have a good week last week, I don't think, right?
It was the week before, wasn't it? 2 weeks ago? He got the concussed.
Yeah, that's what it was.
He was going, I think he had 3 TDs and he got concussed, right?
And we're not going to know until next season. But maybe Nathaniel Hackett was the problem. We'll find out.
I mean, it's possible.
You just hate to think that the dude was playing so good in Seattle and then comes to Denver.
I'm just going to say this, though. It is, week 15 probably he started taking off?
Yeah.
Like the final...
Yeah.
Final fucking run of the season. He maybe figures it out. I don't know. But could be also, too, like, chemistry building with the team, but... At the same time, I don't think it takes that long.
Especially not a caliber of quarterback that good.
Yeah, it's not like you're a rookie, so it's like you should probably be in sync by like week 5.
Week 5, yeah.
But now it's week 15 and you maybe figured it out. I don't know. Maybe he's a slow learner. I mean,
he could very well be the problem too. Maybe he's fucking washed, like... Maybe he just dropped off the face of the planet. His talent did.
You can't make a decision until at least next year.
Yeah, no, for
sure. You gotta see what happens next year, and then that will determine if he's the fraud he is, or if he's actually back.
And even then, that contract is so fucked. You're like, what? Do we do?
You're stuck with him. You're literally stuck with him.
Next we have the Dolphins at the Patriots. Dolphins were kind of leading this for a bit, and then. The Patriots,
Teddy throws a pick 6.
Yeah, Teddy throws a pick 6 and got injured on that play. And then Skylar Thompson comes in and just looks fucking horrendous as he always does.
Yep. I'll tell you what, Craig. There was people in preseason when he was the preseason player of the year.
Skylar Thompson was,
right? Yeah.
Okay.
There was people hammering the table. Hammer down! Saying that they wanted him to start over Tua.
No way.
And that is why I do not listen to the majority of football fans. Because there was legitimately people saying like he should be starting over Tua and Teddy, and that he should be the backup over Teddy. Like people are literally saying, "Can we just cut Teddy and just have him?" I'm like.
I will say one thing.
This is why I don't take people serious. Like,
I will say one thing. There are coaches out there that don't know how to run their team.
No, what's that?
There's coaches out there that don't know what their players can do, don't know how to run their team, don't know who the better players are, right? But but majority of the coaches and teams out there know who their good players are and know who their bad players are. If coming into the year, Skylar Thompson is a third string quarterback, he's the third string quarterback for a reason. I mean, it's the same conversation we had with the other week where your backups are your backups for a reason. You know what I mean? Like,
there's very few, I feel like, players that are that talented, like Tom Brady level, that are on the bench.
Yeah.
Like, you may be having like a 0.1% chance of having a guy that like comes out of nowhere and starts and is like a fucking unit.
100%.
Or like an undrafted guy. Like, how many undrafted guys stay on teams? Like, I have no idea what the stats for that is, but it's probably very fucking slim.
Only guy I can think of, like, I think there's a lot of like defensive players that probably are undrafted that stay on teams. But like as far as like star weapons, the only guy in recent years I can think of that's actually made a name for himself undrafted is James Robinson. You know what I mean? And that was just by pure luck of the fact that they traded away Leonard Fournette. They picked him up undrafted that year. They didn't have anybody at running back, and he got lucky and got touches, and they found out he was pretty fucking good. But other than that, I mean,
like there's probably other ones too that I can't think of right now,
sure.
But like, it's just like you're not gonna find guys that are like undrafted that are literally just Hall of Fame worthy type players. Like, it's very fucking slim to none.
Yeah. 100%.
And that's why it's always so annoying. Like, people are like, "Oh, this guy should be starting. This guy should be starting." Like, he's a backup for the fucking reason. It's the same thing when I remember people would always like claim that Matt Moore was better than Tannehill, and then Matt Moore would go in and play and throw like fucking 3 picks and then get kicked out again. And I'm like, "Oh, there you go."
Well, the same situation's happening in Las Vegas right now. The game Jared Stidham had, they're like, "Oh my God, this guy should have been starting the whole year." There's a couple things that go on here, right? First off, you know that extra hype you get in your body when you're starting a game for the first time of the year or whatever, and of course you're going to come out and kill it because you got that adrenaline, you're excited, yada, yada, yada. Second off, none of these teams have tape on this fucking quarterback. You know what I mean? They don't know what he's going to come out and do. They don't know his strengths a whole lot. Like, yeah, they can guess. They don't know how they're going to game plan around this quarterback, right? That's why a lot of times we'll see these quarterbacks come in and they'll have a good game, and then the next 3-4 weeks they start to suck again. Like, it's the same thing we talk about with backup quarterbacks. Like, you get that 3-4 week window where you can probably win a couple games, and then after that they turn into fucking dog shit. And that's what blows my mind when everybody's like, "Oh, Jared Stidham was the guy. Like, why were we starting Derek Carr?" He's not the fucking guy. He's a guy that was in McDaniel's system for however long, for a few years, knows how to run his offense. Of course he's going to fucking be pretty well when he comes in, when he needs to play, right? Like, it's the same thing. Like, they're backups for a reason, man. You're, like you said, you're not going to find these fucking dudes.
Guys that are like backups to me are just guys that come in there and maybe win you 1 or 2 games. You start Jared Stidham for 17 weeks, you're going to see his stats are fucking garbage, whatever.
Garbage.
Most likely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what to me is a backup player. Someone that literally can come off the bench, play 1 to 3 games, and win. The perfect backup to me, in my opinion, is Nick Foles back when he was in the Eagles. Mm-hmm. He came in, did his job, got them to the playoffs, and ended up actually helping them win the Super Bowl. Like, that's what a backup should be able to do. Yeah. You don't need to win the Super Bowl, obviously, but you need to be able to come in and just win those games and hold it down until your starter comes back. Yep. If you can't even do that, then what's the fucking point of you being in the backup?
And I think the problem, too, is they're looking at somebody like Geno Smith who's doing what he's doing now, and he's the rare case to where a guy's a backup and he ends up being a starter and leads a team to a playoffs or a potential playoffs. Like, and even then, he still has these moments where you're like, okay, he might not be the guy. You know what I mean?
And that's the issue, too. You're going to have to pay Geno Smith money, big money, because of 1 fucking year of production. Mm-hmm. Now you're going to sign him to, what, a 3-4 year deal. And then guess what? What if he fucking regresses back to being shit again? It's the same thing. I have the issue I've been telling the Gina about with Daniel Jones. Yeah, he's playing better this season, but guess what? He's on his 5th year fucking deal already. You have to now pay him that money. Do you believe Daniel Jones is going to be the Daniel Jones you've seen for this 1 year where he improved?
Yeah.
Or is he going to be the Daniel Jones you've seen for the other 4 fucking years? Like, that's my problem. You're paying this guy for 1 year production,
That's
yeah,
why
maybe it works out, but like you're now going to be stuck with him because you have to pay him. You
That's
have
why-
no other choice.
That's why if I'm the Seahawks, I'm letting Geno walk. Like, I know what he did for your team this year. Like, I get it, but I'm not paying that for a dude that's already, in his 30s, been a backup his whole life. Like, no.
That's why with me, I'm fine with keeping Tua because like he still has his 5th-year option. You get him for 1 more year, and then you go on from there. Is he worth the money? Is he not? Like, because then at that point you've seen him for 2 years in McDaniel's system. Is he the guy or is he not? Like,
yeah, and I mean this is only his first year in their system. He's had a shitty year with injuries. Like, yeah, is he maybe a little injury prone? It seems like it at this point, but if you still got him on contract, there's no need to fucking, in my eyes, panic and fucking sell the house to get a fucking quarterback. Unless you can maybe steal a guy like Lamar or something. Like, then
I'm not going. I'm not getting a Geno Smith type player, or fucking something like that. Though.
No, there's no point because you pretty much already have that in Tua. I mean, he's just as good, if not better, than Geno. You know what I mean?
100% agree.
Moving
I already
on.
know though. There's going to be a lot of quarterbacks that are going to get paid
Oh yeah, that shouldn't.
this season, and you're going to be like, well, we'll see how this works out because it's either going to be really good or really bad.
And not to like shit on Daniel Jones because he has had a fucking great year in his standards. You know what I mean? Like, but I feel like some of that is Brian Daboll. So
At the same time, he's having a quote unquote great year. He's got like 15 touchdowns.
Yeah, you know
and
what
like
I mean?
5 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that really that great? Cool.
That's why I said to his standards.
That's my point though.
Yeah.
Like, because now they're gonna pay him, and it's like, well,
I don't know if they will
we'll
pay
see.
him. Yeah, we'll see what happens, but
Someone's gonna pay him, I'm sure.
yeah.
Same thing with Brock Purdy. I'm sure someone's gonna inquire to trade about this guy too. I would not be surprised to see him either starting for the 49ers or getting traded to someone.
I know the guy's been killing it, but I'm just not sold on Brock Purdy yet. Like, props to him. And
I guarantee you,
far, but
teams fucking love buying into the hype on these players.
Oh, I know.
They fucking love it.
Oh, I know.
And then they get shot in the face when the guy blows up in their face and goes, "Holy shit, what happened?"
I mean,
why is Brock Purdy not throwing 4 touchdowns? We don't have George Kittle. We don't have fucking.
If I'm the 49ers and somebody inquires about Brock Purdy, my asking price is at least a first round. Just because one of two reasons.
I don't think we'll get a first, but I'll guarantee you'll get a second.
No. The only reason I'm saying the asking price has got to be a first because my thought
of
process
how
is
needy quarterbacks are.
Well, that and the
or
fact
how neat like a big quarterback is, I guess you could say.
That and the fact that he's already in your system, he knows how to run it. You can see he runs it well. Trey Lance has already been injured, going to come back from an injury, so it's like you have that great backup in your system.
What do we call it?
What's
his name?
Jimmy G. He's not going to be on the 49ers. He's a free. Yeah, he's leaving. So you'll have a great backup in that. You know what I mean? Plus, you know how these teams like to buy into this hype. In my eyes, I'm asking a first, and I'm not taking anything less than a first. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but that's partially just to keep them in my system. Like, if you want them that bad, you're going to have to pay that bad of a price. That's what I'm doing if I'm the 49ers. I'm not letting him go for a fucking third, second. Like, fuck that. Just because, what if Trey Lance isn't the guy, and you know that Brock Purdy can run that system? Why would you get rid of him? You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather keep him as a backup and not have a second-round pick than get rid of him if I'm the Niners. Now, if I'm somebody else, I'm not paying a first round for Brock Purdy. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't pay a first for him.
No, exactly, and that's why
I wouldn't even probably pay a second for him. But
that's why I think your asking price has to be a first. Because if you want him bad enough, you better give me a first. If not, I'm keeping him, and I'm fine with keeping him. Next, we got the Colts with the Giants. The Colts fucking suck. Giants obliterate them. They made the playoffs. Good for the Giants. It's been a hell of a
holy
season for
fuck!
them.
The Colts got absolutely poo-poo pee-peed on.
They suck so bad.
What do you think about the whole tackle sack with Kayvon Thibodeau?
Here's the thing.
I'm sure you probably saw or heard the comments on Jeff Saturday.
Here's my thought process on it, right? I'm perfectly fine with you celebrating and you doing that right next to him. But the second you turned over and looked, because we all saw him turn over and look. The second you turn over and look and see that going on, you stand the fuck up and stop celebrating. Like, I understand you're in the midst of the excitement, you're celebrating, you're not paying attention to what's going on around you. But when you turn over to your right and you look at that dude, like, freaking out on the ground, you get the fuck up. You don't keep doing it. Like, that's my problem in that situation. Like, I'm fine with him celebrating. What?
It was a very, very long celebration.
Oh, it was so long. And then, like I said, the video, you clearly see the guy looking over and looking at fucking, who was it, Nick Foles on the ground. Like,
yeah,
you got to stand up.
I have no idea. From what he said he didn't see him. Give him the benefit of the doubt. I hope he didn't see him because that's fucked up.
Yeah.
He was just doing that on purpose like that. But I think the thing, I don't know if it was the snow angel that probably, I mean, it probably upset people, but I think the big one was him doing the night-night one.
Yeah, that one was, that's like...
But I'm not sure, to me, I didn't take it as him doing it to, like, Nick Foles, per se. I think he was doing it to
the Colts. Yeah.
Colts, but I think that was probably the one that probably pissed people off the most.
No,
because people probably took it as him, like, oh, you put Nick Foles to sleep type thing, like... But
yeah, I don't know. That's a tough situation because you genuinely don't know like what's going on in his head. Like I don't.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He didn't.
Yeah,
he didn't see him,
I don't think he's deliberately in his mind thinking, "Oh, I just injured this guy. Let me do the night celebration." Like I don't think that's going through his head because I don't feel like people are that vicious. But I mean, like you said, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
I will say though, fuck Jeff Saturday though.
Yeah, you hate him. I don't.
You guys talking about fucking trash and all this. Your team's fucking trash.
He's just fucking upset because he's fucking dog shit. Next we got the Saints at the Eagles. I mean, I'm like, I know it's kind of sound crazy.
I'm surprised this game was the way it went.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because the Eagles team is pretty fucking good.
That's what brings me kind of to my point.
They had a close game against the Cowboys, like really close, and then this game, like, what happened?
That's what brings me to my point. Like, I've been a big fan of the Eagles all year, right? Like, I haven't hid that at all. Everybody's known that. It kind of excites me that they've lost these last two games because now you can come out and say that Jalen Hurts makes this team better. You know what I mean? In my eyes, like, if you can't beat the Saints with Gardner Minshew, then what can Gardner Minshew do? You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it shuts up a lot of these haters that say, well, Jalen Hurts is only good because of his team, yada, yada, yada. Like, I do get that argument. He's got a lot of good pieces around him.
I mean, they have the most Pro Bowl. Like,
yeah, like...
a very good fucking team.
Yeah, no, it's a great fucking team. Don't get me wrong. But you still need a guy to make the right decisions, run the offense well. Like, and I feel like Jalen Hurts does that. I definitely think he looks better than he is because of the team. Like, A.J. Brown helps him. Devontae Smith helps him 100%. But at the same time, a lot of these good quarterbacks nowadays look good because they have fucking weapons on the offense. I mean, we talked about it before. All these good quarterbacks, once they get a number one, they take that next step. Like, I think it aids him in looking better, but I still think he needs to... The team still needs him. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I feel like we've seen with these last 2
I think
weeks.
the true test will be the playoffs. Like, we'll have to see, is Jalen that good? Because to me, the playoffs is where you can't hide.
100%.
Teams got all the tape in the world now. They're going to do their best to stop what you've been doing all year.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of these times these quarterbacks have to go off that script because it's like you can't just go off of what you've been doing for
18
weeks now. Like, you're going to have to start doing it on your own now. You're going to have to start scrambling out and finding other ways to get open or other ways to make plays. Like,
100%. Could not agree more.
Those off-script plays are going to be huge when it comes to the playoffs. So we'll have to see what these teams do to adjust.
Yeah, we'll definitely find out. I will say I do hope that the Eagles can hang on to the number one seed. I think early reports from what I've heard is Jalen Hurts is probably going to play in Week 18, just so that they can potentially win that game. Now, yeah, you have to now.
That number one fucking seed is huge, man. You get a free bye, like you start off fucking 1-0 basically.
And then not only the number one seed, you don't want to somehow lose the division, right? Like, I'm okay with giving up the number one seed, but you don't want to go from number 1 to number 5 or 6 because that's what will happen. If they lose this week, the Cowboys win the division.
Even huge.
You know what I mean? So then they'll drop
That's
down
even
to
bigger.
5 or
Then
6.
they don't even have home field advantage.
Exactly. So it's like
You
this
now
is-
have to go travel to someone else's stadium,
Yep.
and they're probably going to play. If they're number 6, they'll probably play what number 5 or something like that.
Yeah, they'll be number
That's
5 or
what it
6.
is, yeah. So they're going to end up playing another decently good team too.
Yeah.
Like,
So
and you don't want to have that for week 1. Or
that's
for,
what sucks about
round 1 in
them,
the playoffs.
them not beating the Saints this week, because you would have liked to beat the Saints this week. It'd be done with Jalen Hurts can just rest till playoffs. But I think
Now the other issue is too, like you can potentially get hurt in this game too. Almost playing for nothing because you're guaranteed a spot, but you're trying to still make it like a better spot. But yeah, it's gonna suck.
and they're playing
Hopefully nothing bad
potential.
happens.
They're playing a potential decent team in the Giants, right? So it's like that's a playoff team as well. So you're pretty much walking into a playoff environment before the playoffs, and you need to win. So I feel
I
like
doubt
that
the
could-
Giants will play their team the
They
whole way
may
through.
not.
But
I don't know if they can get a better.
I don't even know if
seed
they're
or
going to
not.
play the team. No, I don't think so. I think they're locked in, and that's
Okay.
it.
Well, then maybe.
So they might not even play at all.
Yeah.
But if they want to fuck with the Eagles, they might.
And that's the thing.
I don't know.
like,
You know what I mean? Like, they
a lot
could-
of
they
these
have the
teams
potential
like to
to play spoiler, so.
Yeah. So we'll see. What
And it's like that's a
happens.
division rival. Like you might,
Yeah.
they might try and come out and beat them.
I just know it'll suck if somehow the Eagles lose the division in these last final weeks. After the year that they've had, you know what I mean? Like it'll suck, but it is what it is. We'll find out this week what for sure happens. But yeah. Moving on, we got the Panthers at the Bucks. I'll say one thing about this game, Nick. Tell me why the Panthers rushed for like 360 yards against the Lions. And then they come out this week and run the ball like 15 times. And then they lose. I mean, in my eyes, like, I know that it's probably better they don't go to the playoffs. But if you're that close, I feel like as an NFL team, you got to try to make it to the playoffs, right? You got to run the ball. Your team is a running team, in my opinion. Like, Sam Darnold's not the guy. He threw some bad throws, had a pick. Like, I feel like that's why you lost this game. Granted, Tom Brady, your defense fucking let Tom Brady, the dude that only
Tom
scores
Brady looked like
15
fucking
points a
Tom
game.
Brady.
Yeah, he did.
He had
Which is-
432 yards, 3
Yeah.
TDs. Like
Which is scary
Went
because
off.
we talk about it all the time. This Bucks
He's been
team
looking rough.
doesn't look good, but if they squeak into the playoffs, Tom Brady can figure it out, and it's starting to look like he's figuring it out.
he's just one of those guys you just don't want to play in the playoffs. Like as bad as
100%.
he's been, he always somehow finds ways to fucking win games. Like I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
how it is, but he's like Bill Belichick. As bad as his teams are,
Yeah.
they find ways to win.
And what's crazy right now, Nick, is I think the Cowboys are scheduled to play the Bucks in the first round.
Oh boy, that's not looking like a good matchup for the Cowboys.
It's really not, dude. So it's like, fuck.
The way
Yeah.
they play teams, they play down, so I was like, hey, it's looking like a god matchup for Tom Brady then.
Oh, it really is.
Mike
Oh.
Evans had 207 yards, 3 TDs. He was that fucking guy.
Yeah, because 2 would play 7, 3 would play 6, and then 4 would play 5. Yeah, so it'd be Bucks and Cowboys right now going against each other. And then you'd have
Jesus.
Vikings, Giants, and then Seahawks, 49ers. That's how it would be.
I mean, Sam Darnold had 341 yards passing, 3 TDs, 1 interception. Not bad, but
No, I mean, he
the
had like
run
a good
again,
game,
13 attempts for 35 yards, 5 attempts for 20 yards. That's Sam Darnold. Chuba Hubbard, 3 attempts for 12
Yeah.
yards.
but like I just think that they have
I
a
mean, even
better
the
chance
Bucs,
when they
like-
run the ball.
Leonard Fournette only had 10 attempts. What is his name? Rashad White had 11.
Yeah.
They both had 22, 28 yards for 2-point yards
They
a carry,
couldn't run the ball
2.8.
for shit.
That's the thing. Even the Panthers could too. Foreman only had 2.7 yards an attempt. It was like both teams couldn't really run the
Yeah.
ball this game. It seemed like
Uh,
I didn't really see a lot of this game. I only saw it on Red Zone. Like I wasn't really watching every down, so I have no idea. I did see DJ Moore catching some fucking nice
Yeah,
balls.
yeah.
Like there was one that was seemed like a really nice throw from Sam Darnold into the end zone.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a good game. The Bucks, they're starting to figure it out, so it's looking scary, like we said. We'll see what happens in the playoffs.
It's definitely a team
with
you don't want
Brady.
to play in the playoffs with Tom
100%.
fucking Brady.
100%.
Same with the Patriots. Make you don't want to play fucking Bill in the
Bill
playoffs.
Belichick. Yep. Next, we got the Browns at the Commanders. They, I mean,
I didn't really see a lot of this game, to be honest.
Carson Wentz threw 2 picks in the first 5 minutes, I think it was.
That's not good.
Yeah, I mean that's the story of this game. I feel like just Carson Wentz sucks. Browns finally put up some
Deshaun Watson,
points.
3 TDs.
Yeah, he finally had a better game.
Only had 169 yards, though. Fucking nothing.
Yeah.
That means to tell me they were just running it all the way down, and he was throwing TDs. He's throwing little fucking 4-yard TDs.
He had a couple. I think he had like a 30, 40-yard touchdown pass, and then like a 25 or something. Amari Cooper had a couple nice touchdown runs after the catch. Yeah, I mean, I think they're starting to figure out the offense a little bit with Watson. Like we said all fucking year, like the first few games are going to be hit or miss, but it seems like they're starting to kind of get a feel for it, and we'll find out what happens next year with that. This game was kind of, I think it was like 3-0 for a couple quarters, and then all of a sudden the Browns scored a few touchdowns and the game was over. Moving on, we got the 49ers at the Raiders. This game was nutty, dude. Like, back and forth all fucking game. The Raiders absolutely pissed on the 49ers defense that came into this week, the number 1 defense. Brock Purdy showed up. He had I think he had a pick this game on a ball that he kind of just threw up one-on-one for George Kittle. And then Jared Stidham, I think, threw 2 interceptions. One of the balls was like batted into the air high as fuck, and then the D lineman caught it, and then the other one, Nick Bosa was running down in his face, and Jared Stidham on his back foot just kind of threw the ball up, and it was a fucking floater right to the guy for in overtime. That pretty much cost his team the game instead of him just taking a sack or throwing the ball away. Fucking idiot. That's why he's.
Devontae Adams had a fucking career day, though.
Yeah, he really did.
Fucking holy.
Him and Brandon Ayuk had a fucking crazy day too.
He had 153 yards, 2 TDs. Ayuk had 101 yards, 1 TD, 9 catches.
Yeah, Devontae Adams was fucking torching dudes.
McCaffrey 121 yards rushing, 1 TD. Again, it's still a nice team in the playoffs, man. 49ers are going to be a hard team to beat, too. Number 1 defense. Brock Purdy seems like he's decent enough to be able to lead them to games. McCaffrey, they can get him rushing the ball like that. Brandon Ayuk looks good. I'm not sure about Debo, if Debo's going to be back or not. If he's back, when he's back, whatever. But
yeah,
that's a good-looking team, man.
Oh, it absolutely is.
That's going to be a hard team, man. It's going to be a hard team.
Yeah, I mean, their defense had a bad game this week, but they'll figure it out.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah. I feel like every good defense has a couple bad games a year, and they had 2 this year. They had one against the Chiefs, and then this one. Like, you can't be too mad at it. Next, we got Jets and the Seahawks. I mean, the Seahawks were just dominated this game from the get-go.
Yeah, they just shut down the Jets and pretty much shut the door on their shut the door on their playoff hopes.
But I mean,
Mike White again. I don't think he's the guy. People think he's so much better than Zach Wilson, and he's gonna be the starter. I mean, he's better than Zach Wilson, but he ain't a starter.
Yeah, no.
I don't know where the Jets are gonna go from there, but they desperately need to find a quarterback.
100%.
Whether that's through the draft, trading up, or a free agent signing, maybe they go back and get Geno and bring him back into the green.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They got to find someone. That team is looking really good, and you can't just waste it with shitty fucking quarterback play.
I think they'll be in a better spot next year when they get Breece Hall back. They get some linemen healthy again. They maybe draft a couple of linemen or something. They just need to address the quarterback.
They need to find a
situation.
quarterback. I don't know where you're going to get one. Like free agency, draft somewhere, but whether or not they trade for someone, maybe they trade for Brock Purdy or something like that. I don't know, but because you got to think too, he would be from the Shanahan system. I'm assuming. I don't know what's the Jets coach name. I forget his name.
Robert Saleh.
Mike Saleh.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming he is gonna be probably uses something similar to like what Shanahan uses, right?
I think so.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you probably get someone like that, maybe, but again, I don't know.
Here's the thing: I feel like they only have two. They have 3 options when it comes to quarterback, as far as like free agency or trade, in my opinion. Right? We don't. I'm gonna say Lamar Jackson number 1, but we still don't know what's gonna happen with that on the Baltimore side of that. So I feel like he's not even like a legitimate option. Then you have Jimmy G, that's gonna be a free agent, right? And then you also have the Derek Carr situation that it seems like he's definitely gonna get traded from what I've heard. You have those two, and then you maybe could make a play for Brock Purdy. If that's really the route you want to go. Again, like I said earlier, not a big fan of that route because
I'm gonna assume
it's got to be Jimmy G, right?
That's what I was gonna say. It's probably gonna be Jimmy G then. Honestly, the more I think about it, I'm just thinking he's already ran that system. I'm assuming, like, we always talk about a veteran defensive coaches always like veteran quarterbacks. So that way they don't have to touch that side of the ball. They can just let the quarterback run it, do it, whatever. And honestly, I'm not totally against it. If Jimmy G can play like how he plays, like decent, and
they rely on the run game.
That's what I'm saying. Rely on the run game. Get your playmakers in space a little bit, and then let your defense just shut teams down. Like,
and honestly, I think it's the best situation for Jimmy G as well.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not like it's going to be a terrible situation. Like, you still got Garrett Wilson. You still got Elijah Moore.
Yeah.
Like, you got playmakers around you.
Yeah. I mean, they're not George Kittle, Debo, and all them, like, but they're definitely some great weapons on that side of the ball. And then just let that defense and run game fucking carry you, to be honest. Make some throws when you need to. Don't make mistakes. Like, as much as not a fan I am of this game manager quarterback, that's what they need in this offense, I feel like. Like, they need somebody to come in, manage the game, not turn the ball over. And I feel like Jimmy G's the perfect guy for that.
I feel like no NFL fan's a true fan of a game manager, but
oh no, for sure.
Some teams just need one.
You need one. I mean, and that's the perfect team for that.
To just fucking fit the space for now, because it's like, if this team is built to win now. Like, you don't have time to really like draft someone and hope to God they work out.
Yeah.
And if they don't work out, then it's like, well, you wasted fucking
another year, at least another 2-3 years.
That's what I'm saying. Like, at that point, you wasted the window. Like, if you draft someone, it doesn't work out. But I don't know. I don't, like I said, if I'm a fan, I don't want a game manager as a quarterback. Like, you want on Mahomes.
No,
like,
you want a playmaker.
It's exciting to watch. You want someone that fucking makes plays and wins games. But if it's a fucking Super Bowl, who gives a shit?
I mean, they could go for Baker Mayfield too. I mean, no, I don't know what's gonna happen with that, but that's I mean,
stop it.
I think Jimmy G's definitely the better option. I'm just
Baker Mayfield's taking over for fucking the Rams.
I'm just throwing names out there, Nick. Potential free agents like that.
Sean McVay and Baker are gonna be that duo.
I think so, low key.
They're gonna ride out Matthew Stafford for like 1 or 2 more years, and it's gonna be Baker's team.
Matthew Stafford's retiring in the offseason. He's pulling an Andrew Luck.
Maybe he does. I don't know.
Next,
maybe he goes to baseball.
Yeah, right. Next, we got Vikings at the Packers. The Vikings did their normal Vikings thing.
I'm not even gonna talk about this game. They fucking got shit on.
Yeah.
Literally got shit on. Nothing else to say.
Same thing for the next game.
What's his name? Jair Alexander?
Jair Alexander.
Jair Alexander shut down Jefferson.
Yeah.
Put him on a fucking island and said, "There you go, kid. See ya."
Yeah.
And I liked it too, because he was calling him all week long. He said he had a fluke game, whatever. And I'm like, all right, well, you got to back it up. He backed it up.
Yeah, he did.
Jefferson was losing his shit, slamming helmets in the refs and shit, so...
Yeah.
Did not look good.
Yeah, that whole team
next game,
looked
is that it?
bad. Next game was Chargers-Rams, pretty much the same thing. Chargers dominated this game. I think Rams had a lot of yards. They just couldn't fucking score points.
Rams got poop on. It's okay. Cam Akers out a day, 123 yards. Jesus.
Yeah. After that, we had the Steelers at the Ravens. I mean, the Steelers pulled another fucking late comeback again. Mike
this was the game I didn't watch
is still alive. Yeah. I didn't watch this game hardly. I watched like the last drive for Kenny Pickett. I mean, it's the same situation for the Ravens the last 4 weeks. Like, they can't score the ball. Can't score. They're missing Lamar. They still need a fucking wide receiver, I feel like.
It's only been how many years of saying it?
Yeah, right. It just the more and more I think about this Ravens team, the more and more I get confused on why the fuck they traded away Hollywood Brown. Like, that decision just makes no fucking sense to me, man. Yeah, I mean the Steelers 8-8. They still do have a chance at the playoffs. A few things got to go right. I think from what I saw, the
I think they need
Patriots
the
and the
Dolphins and
Dolphins
the Patriots
need
to
to
lose.
both lose, and then they need to win. I think.
Something like that.
Yeah, so I mean they still got a chance, which we saw them last year squeak into the playoffs. Maybe they do it again. I think they played the Bengals or the Browns this week, one of the two. So we'll see what happens with that. It'll be interesting to see. I'm more excited on Tomlin having a winning record than I am making
They
the
play
playoffs.
the Browns this week, so
They play the Browns, yeah. So they could win that game. We'll see.
tough matchup.
Yeah. I mean the Ravens. The Ravens first off just need Lamar back. Second off, I know they've been a favorite kind of all year as a playoff team and the division winner. I think the Bengals got the division right, but the Ravens right now are looking to me like they're gonna get first rounded, but we'll fucking see. They just look rough, man. They can't score no points. And then Monday night game, we talked about it. The Bills-Bengals. The Bengals were up 7-3, and they were driving again, and then the unfortunate accident happened. Like we said earlier, the game's postponed until further notice. They're not playing it this week. More news will probably come out in the next following days, maybe. We'll see what happens with that. But that'll wrap up the Week 17 recap. We can run through Week 18 predictions real quick, and then we'll be done. So this week, Nick, we got 2 Saturday games. We got the Chiefs at the Raiders, and then the Titans at the Jags Saturday night. So, just something to be aware of. All right, you ready for these predictions, Nick?
Yup.
All right.
Let's do it.
Chiefs, Raiders. Who you got?
Chiefs.
Chiefs. And it's so tough making these predictions because there's probably a lot of these teams that aren't going to play their fucking guys, but we'll see. Titans, Jags. I'm taking the Jags.
Yup.
Bucks, Falcons. I'm taking the Bucks.
Yup.
Yeah. Patriots, Bills. I'm taking the Bills.
Yup.
Vikings, Bears. I'm taking the Vikings.
I'm gonna go different. Give me the Bears.
All right. Texans, Colts, man. I need the Texans to lose this fucking game for the number 1 overall pick, but I think they win this one, surprisingly.
I'm gonna go Texans as well. I can't do it. I was gonna say they ride off in the sunset, send him off his way with a dub, but they suck.
Jets, Dolphins. I'm taking the Dolphins. Yeah.
I think they rebound and win this game. There's no way the Jets.
Yeah.
Jets are fucking checked out now. Like they have nothing to play for. Maybe they rally and try and play sport, but the way their season just ended, I don't know. I feel like it's heartbreaking for them to want to come back like that.
I agree. Panthers, Saints. Give me the Panthers.
Give me the Saints. I believe in Andy Dalton.
I just don't like this Saints team right now, man.
I don't like any of these teams, but I'll take the Saints.
Give me the Browns and the Steelers. Give me the Steelers. Mike Tomlin's getting his winning record, son.
I agree.
Giants, Eagles. Eagles win this game. They have to win this fucking game. So I think they rally around and fucking pull it out.
Yeah, I'll go with the Eagles as well. I think the Giants are probably going to rest people.
Yeah. Cowboys, Commanders. Again, Cowboys kind of got to win this game to keep their hopes alive for the potential division. So I'm going Cowboys.
Same.
Chargers, Broncos. Give me the Chargers.
Yep.
Rams, Seahawks. Give me the Seahawks. They gotta.
Yep.
Have you heard the scenario for the Seahawks to make the playoffs?
Nope.
So the Seahawks need to win this game first off, right?
Yep.
But if the Packers win, the Seahawks are out. Even though the Seahawks are technically like above the Packers in the playoff picture right now, but the way it works with like division records and shit like that, the Packers will jump over the Seahawks.
It's probably if they win. It's probably conference record.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, give me the Seahawks.
Who are the Seahawks playing?
They're playing the Rams.
And then who are the Packers playing?
The Lions.
The Lions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be division. Yeah, it's gonna be conference then.
Yeah. And then I think for the Lions to make the playoffs, they got to win, and then the Seahawks got to lose. So that one spot's going to come down. I mean, there's one spot left in both divisions, I think, right? The 7th seed.
Yep.
And there's a bunch of different scenarios that can happen. So should be an exciting week for some teams. Where do we leave off? The Seahawks, Rams? I took the Seahawks. Who are you taking?
The same.
Okay.
Seahawks.
Cardinals, 49ers. Give me the Niners. They're still playing for the number 1 seed as well. Lions and the Packers. Give me the Lions. I think they fucking pull an upset on the Packers. I just don't want to see this Packers team in the fucking
I don't either, but
man.
I feel like it's been rigged so hard for Aaron Rodgers
It really has,
Tom Brady to bring it back.
Yep, it really has.
Just when you think they're down and out, they somehow make the playoffs or one last hurrah to do whatever the fuck they do.
Yep. Ravens, Bengals. I don't think Lamar's going to be back. I'm going Bengals.
Bengals.
Yeah.
The backup quarterback on the Bengals will beat whoever the fuck the Ravens put out as a starter.
All right, so that's going to wrap up Week 18 predictions. I'll just go through this playoff picture real quick. AFC right now it's Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, Chargers, Ravens. The Jacksonville's mixed in there right now. Of course, if they win the division. They'll be the 4 seed. And the 7 seed right now is the Patriots. But if they lose and the Dolphins win, the Dolphins are in. If the Patriots and Dolphins both lose, then the Steelers are in. If the Dolphins lose and the Steelers lose, I think if the Patriots win, they're in.
Patriots win, they're in. The Patriots control their own destiny. They win, they're in. If they lose, the Dolphins lose and the Steelers lose, then the Titans might get in if they win, I think.
No, the Titans will win the division. So then it might be the Jags.
So it only... Okay, so it might only come down... Yeah, I mean... So Titans and Jags could both make it, right?
They could make the... I mean, I think it might be a potential for them to make a wild card. But in order for that to happen, it would have to be Patriots, Dolphins, Steelers both lose.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It'd be a weird scenario, but it could happen.
It could happen, yeah. So there's that for the AFC. NFC, you got the Eagles, who clinched number 1 seed with a win. Niners, Vikings, Bucks, Cowboys, Giants, and then the Seahawks. And again, we talked about it. If the Seahawks win and the Packers lose, they're in. If the Seahawks lose, the Lions win, the Lions are in. If the Seahawks lose, the Lions lose, the Packers are in. And then even if the Seahawks win and the Packers win, the Packers are in. So
the Packers control their own destiny. If they win, they're in.
If they win, they're in.
The Seahawks needs the Packers to lose, and then they need to win, and then the Lions need
to win.
The Seahawks to lose and need to win.
Yeah.
So interesting teams. Could be a weird playoff run.
Yeah, for sure.
Seeing the Lions in there, that'd be weird. Could see the Steelers in there after everyone didn't even expect that.
Could somehow see the Jags and the Titans in, I think, which would be crazy.
Yeah, definitely interesting.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see what happens. I mean, crazy
Hopefully
scenarios.
the Patriots lose and the Dolphins win, but
I think
safe.
I think
Zero
most
safe.
of the seedings are set. They can change a little bit. Of course, like in the NFC, if the Eagles win, they're going to be number 1. If the Niners win, they'll stay at 2. If the Vikings win, they'll stay at 3, which I think even if they lose, they'll stay at 3 because that means the Eagles will win and the Cowboys will stay at 5. But I think 4 and 6, I think, are already set. And then 5, 3, 2, and 1 can change depending on what the Eagles do. But we'll see with that. As far as seeding here, this one's hard to even know what's going to happen because we still don't know what's happening with the Bengals-Bills game. So I'm not even going to attempt to dissect that situation. But yeah, I mean, that's your playoff picture right now. Final week of football, and then we're into playoffs, Nick. So it's going to be crazy. With that being said, I think this is going to wrap up this episode. Nick, you got anything?
Hopefully, Damar Hamlin is safe. He's good. I don't think there's been an update. At least I haven't noticed.
No, I just saw that one early this morning.
hopefully there's no big injuries on Sunday.
Yep.
Saturday as well. Hopefully get a good playoff picture here at the end. And yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say.
I like it. Yeah. As always.
Hopefully we stay healthy because I don't want to see like
Yeah.
you don't want to see like some big quarterback get injured, like
No.
Mahomes or something goes down or something like that. Like
Yeah. No, for sure.
I'd fucking win the playoffs easily.
100%. Yeah. Definitely hope everyone stays healthy. Final week of regular season. We'll see what happens.
I'm fucking excited. I want to see Worcester Lombardi at the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I think next year, maybe after next week, we'll get a look at award winners and figure out maybe make some late season predictions on who's going to win it. We'll look at that next week. But yeah,
we're definitely gonna get some playoff brackets going.
Yeah, that too. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Again, Happy New Year. We'll see y'all next week. And let's have a great week of football. Peace.
Go.